Hi students, this is Ram Kishore, faculty in EC department, DBS IT, Kavali. In today's class, I would like to explain about VLSI design styles. So up to now, we were seeing different logic circuits that is defined or designed by different manner or different technologies. Either it may be a PMOS technology, or either it may be NMOS technology, or either it may be CMOS technology, or already we seen some alternating gate circuits for special purposes and for special applications. So we have preferred rather than the CMOS circuits, some alternate gate circuits. Those are nothing but pseudo NMOS logic and dynamic CMOS logic and domino CMOS logic. So already we discussed in the last class. So in today's class we have to see different design styles. So whatever the circuit, either it maybe we are designed either in NMOS or PMOS or CMOS in any manner. So we have to design those circuits in these styles. VLSI, very large scale integration design styles. So that will be categorized as ASICs. ASIC is nothing but application specific integrated circuits. So the full form of the ASIC is application specific integrated circuit. So these ASICs is a full custom circuit or a semi custom circuit in which every mass or logic block is defined by the user or customer. That means whatever, in case of when we are manufacturing as a LCD or a desktop computer or laptop or PAM top, whatever it may be, so that size and that way of design will be decided, that is convenient by the customer or user. So in externally we see the overall format of the design, but internally that may consist the hard disk and so many motherboard and the memory, and that means that define the RAM and the speed of the circuit. So that will be that will as per concern the user satisfaction. So based on that, so we have to design that ASIC is the logic block is defined by the user or customer. So any semi custom circuit, so in whereas a few masks are defined, that mask or the logic block is an arrangement of transparent area. So here this logic block, so it is an area. So in this we have to define a specific logic to implement a specific function or a specific application. So it contains the design what you want or where we want to expose the silicon. So this logic block consists the silicon material. So here in this silicon material, so we have to form or use what type of logic should be implemented within that area. So that is nothing but what we want or where we want to expose within the logic block. So before going to each and every one, so first of all we have to know the ASIC. What is an ASIC? ASIC is a application specific integrated circuit, is the custom designing IC for a particular application such as a processing unit for mobile phones, and it is useful for high volume of production. So if you want to design a high volume, that means a high volume of production, for example consider for a milk dairy, so that will produce more number of, in case in one day that may produce 1 ton of milk or 1,000 tons of milk, whatever the capacity. That means the sequence of the production will be continuously produced where it is applicable. So in that part, so we definitely prefer the application specific integrated circuit. So mainly the advantages of the ASICs are it has a high performance, the performance will be very high and the speed of operation is also very high, and it is secure for the designing secure. So it simply doesn't malfunction or terminate from each and every scheduled term to another term. So and next advantage, it contains digital as well as analog circuits together. So if you are designed those circuits, either it may be an analog application or digital application, and these are one of the disadvantages, nothing but ASIC cannot be easily replaced if it is damaged in the production level. So whenever we are doing or performing a design or a project, so it doesn't replace an easy way, or 1 or 2 days we can't replace that device. So this is about application specific integrated circuits. So here the application specific integrated circuits are mainly divided into 3 types. One is the full custom IC and the semi custom IC and the program. So in what manner we are designing, or what manner we have to fill the logic within the logic block, based on that we have to define in different manners. Those are nothing but full custom, semi custom and the program. Again that semi custom will be divided into 2 types. Those are nothing but standard cell based ICs, gate array based ICs, and the gate array based ICs we have to define the channeled and the channelless structured ICs. So again the programmable will be defined into PLDs. PLDs is nothing but programmable logic devices, and the CPLDs, the full form of the CPLDs, complex programmable logic devices. Again that will be divided, the programmable IC as FPGAs. The full form of FPGA is field programmable gate arrays. Again the PLDs will be divided into 2 types. One is PIL and the PLA. PLA is nothing but programmable and logic, and next one is PLA is the full form of PLA is programmable logic array. So when we have to define in mainly 3 different categories. Again we will be subdivided into some categories. So we will see detailedly one by one in a serial manner. So it is the full custom IC is nothing but, so it is one of the structure of, so in how that IC or the logic block will represent within the IC or within the motherboard. So like this format. So it may have IO pairs and the logic block array, and within the logic block array we have different cells, and in between logic blocks we have to perform the routing. So based on which type, which manner we have defining the logic within the cells, so that will be differentiated from full custom to semi custom ICs. So the full custom ICs are nothing but these are designed and processed like standard products with full set of marks for all fabrication layers. So whatever here we are defined the logic blocks, so it will be full set of mask. Every logic block has a full set of mask and the processing for a standard products. And the full custom IC is a methodology for designing ICs by specifying the layout of each individual transistors and interconnections between them. So and in full custom, each and every block should be defined and the interconnection should be notified within the full custom ICs. And coming to semi-custom ICs, so these are the designs either partially or fully prefabricated or structured like a standard and custom ICs, but with largely pre-designed mask patterns, or that means the gates or components are pre-designed and they are in fixed locations on the chip. So these are every logic block should be partially or fully largely pre-designed with a mask pattern within the from one logic block to another logic block. So either semi-custom or full custom, these have some advantages and disadvantages. So these are less development cost and lowest risk approach, shorter development cycle, and it is suitable for small quantity of production, and it is suitable only for digital ICs. So whenever we consider any digital application, that is FM modulations and so in digital applications, so for that processing, either it may be laptops or refrigerators or washing machine, so we have to use these type of circuits. So for digital operation, so that means we have to change a step by step process, that is one step to another step. So at the type of application, so we have to use these type of circuits. So now we will discuss another type, full custom. Next we will see detailedly what is a full custom IC and the semi custom IC and the programmable ICs. So the full custom IC is a methodology for designing integrated circuits by specifying the layout of each individual transistor and the interconnections between them. So that means whenever we are designing a specific IC, for example a off adder or full adder or a comparator, whatever the design in a full custom, that means every step or every logic block will be implemented or designed with a specific in transistor. That means we have to individually we have to define what type of methodology we are designing under this logic block. And the full custom means that we are starting the work from initial. It means to start your layout from the scratch and to build all your required design layout by self. That means initially, for example, initially we are designing a table, so we required some wood material and we require an iron material. So whenever we are gathering those two materials and we are combining those two materials, so then that will fulfill or to form a specific table. In the same manner, so if we are designing under full custom, so we have to start that work from initial itself. That means whatever the raw material or whatever the raw components available in the market, so from that so we can collect those individual material like as resistors, capacitors and the transistors. So from that self we have to start our work to implement a specific design. So that is the meaning of full custom ICs. And coming to the advantages, for specific application it can be used having a high density, ideal for high volumes, and it improves the performance optimization. And the disadvantage for this full custom ICs are so these are the most expensive to manufacture and design. So the manufacturing the time required for manufacturing a specific time, it leads more time compared with semi custom design. And next one, coming to semi custom ICs. So this semi custom design is an alternative to full custom design, where we use a standard library components such as off adder to make a full adder, and the standard cell libraries are themselves designed using a full custom design. That means so already it is a part or partially or fully programmed like devices as semi-custom devices. That means already we are having some framed structure or already predefined structures available within the industry. So that will be some remodification or reconstruction will be done in the case of semi-custom ICs. So that is the main difference between semi-custom and the full custom. For example, so we have full adder and off adder. So in case if you want to design a full adder, so already we are having the off adder. So whenever we are combining two off adders, then that will be easily build or work like as a full adder. So in that type of circuits will be designed under semi-custom ICs. Semi-custom ICs. So these semi-custom ICs has a short development cycle and less development cost and the lowest risk approach. So compared with the manufacturing design and performance compared to full custom ICs. So these are semi-custom has less amount of time is required to manufacture or implement, and the disadvantages for this semi-custom ICs are suitable for small quantity of products, and these semi-customs can further categorized into two ways. So that is this semi-custom ICs again will be divided into two manners, that is nothing but standard cell based ICs and gate array based ICs. So these standard cells are logic components. The logic components are nothing but gates and multiplexers, adders, flip-flops and latch are previous designed and stored in library. The standard cell area, so whatever we are calling this standard cell is also called as a flexible box in cell based ICs. So this standard, that means whatever already we defined different type of gates, those are nothing but AND gate, OR gate, NAND gate, NOR gate, like that gates, and the multiplexer 4 into 1, 8 into 1 multiplexer, 16 into 1 multiplexer, so and so. That type of adders already we have 4-bit adder, 8-bit adder, like that. So those will be collected, the type of components, and we have to place at a specific logic block within that IC. Then it performs cell based ICs. So the cell based ICs are built rows of standard cells like a wall built of bricks. The designer defines the placement of the standard cells and the interconnections in a CBIC. CBIC is nothing but cell based IC. So within, in what manner we are constructing a wall, like so we are adding brick in a continuous manner, so then it will form a long wall. In the same way, whenever we are adding within the one logic block with one type of functionality or one type of ICs, then it will be works like as a cell based ICs. So the standard cell can be placed anywhere on the silicon. It means all mask layers of a CBIC are customized and are unique to particular customer. So if you are defining in one logic block with a specific functionality, then it will be works like it is that logic block will be performed that functionality only. So that means, for example, if you add one addition function within this logic block, so that is used for only for adding some customers. So next, the advantages of these standard cell based ICs are the designers will save time, money and reduce risk by using and pre-designed standard cell library. So these standard cell libraries have so the some of the disadvantage, that means whatever the time required to fabricate all layers within the integrated circuit for a new design. So if you are implementing a new design, at the time you have to collect whatever the function or the requirement to perform that application, that will take more expensive and more time compared with this semi-custom ICs, and the expense of designing or buying the standard cell library is difficult within the standard cell based ICs. Next one, gate array based ICs. In a gate array based ICs, the transistors are predefined in the silicon wafer. So that gate array based ICs are again defined into in three manners. Those are nothing but channeled gate arrays and the channelless gate arrays and the structured gate arrays. So in this channeled gate array, so whatever this channeled or channel, whatever the IC, so that will be that will consist this type of manner. So if the channeled gate array is also known as a masked gate array, that means we have simply consist a mask over the each and every logic block within the functional performance, so that the features of the masked gate arrays are only interconnections is customized. That means wherever we have to interconnect from one logic function to another logic function, that is only customized, and the interconnection uses predefined space between rows of the base cells, and the manufacturing lead time is between 2 days to 2 weeks. So in channeled gate array, the interconnection are drawn within the predefined space between rows of logic cells. So whatever the logic cell will be present, that will the interconnection only perform. So we have to not do any logic within the logic blocks. So that is about channel gate arrays. And coming to channelless gate arrays. So the channelless gate is also known as C of gate arrays. That means in short form we can call it as SOG. So the channelless we call the SOG, C of gates. So the channelless gate array, there are no connections in the channel, and the connections are drawn on the upper metal layers, that is on the top of the logic cell. So here we don't have any channel. So the structure is the internal structure of the gate arrays are like this. So only within that we having only the logic performance. So whatever the connection or the interconnection will be applied, so that will be connected to only the top layer, or top will be provided the metal, so that will be connected each and every logic to that metal layer. So that is the difference between channel and the channelless gate array. So in structured gate arrays, the structured gate array or embedded gate array combines some of the features of these two, that means cell based ICs and the masked gate arrays. So the features of the structured ICs are only the interconnection is customized, and customer block can be, that whatever this customized block can be embedded, and the manufacturing lead time is between the 2 days and the 2 times. For every gate array based ICs, the minimum required time, manufacturing time is 2 days, and the maximum is that will take 2 weeks. So these overall styles will be used to implement different type of structures for high density memory elements. That memory is nothing but so it is a device which can remember the value or change the value on in command form for its input. That means if you have a device, so we have to give some command from that memory element, so we get the stored value. What is the stored? That is either it may be stored video or the information or the Word file or Excel, whatever it may be. So that will re-get it back. The output of the memory device is get a stored value from that device. So in that those high memory density memory elements, so we have to use these type of VLSI design styles. Thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe DBS Talks.